Hi there, and welcome to our podcast. And this week at London Visited, we go to a little piece of Egypt to see Cleopatra's Needle, to tell you all about this iconic object on the bank of the Thames in London. My name's Steve, and each week I'll bring to you the facts, history and information about different parts and different things within this great capital. If you've been to London, are planning on visiting, live here, or just love London from afar, then this is the podcast for you. Also, don't forget to visit our YouTube channel London Visited to see videos covering this place and so many others across London. And now to this week's podcast. Cleopatra's Needle in London is one of three similarly named Egyptian obelisks and is located in the city of Westminster, on the Victoria Embankment near the Golden Jubilee Bridges, right over the other side from the London Eye. It is close to the Embankment Underground station. It was presented to the United Kingdom in 1819 by the ruler of Egypt and Sultan Muhammad Ali, in commemoration of the victories of Lord Nelson at the Battle of the Nile and Sir Ralph Abercrombie at the Battle of Alexandria in 1801. Although the British government welcomed the gesture, it declined to fund the expense of transporting it to London. The obelisk is inscribed with Egyptian hieroglyphics. The obelisk was originally erected in the Egyptian city of Heliopolis on the orders of Thames III, around 1450 BC. The material of which is cut is granite, brought from the quarries of Aswan, near the first cataract of the Nile. Thutmose III had a single column of text carved on each face, which were translated by E. A. Wallis Budge. Other inscriptions were added about 200 years later by Ramesses II to commemorate his military victories. These are in two columns on each face, flanking the original inscriptions. The obelisks were moved to Alexandria, and they were placed in a temple built by Cleopatra in honour of Mark Antony, or Julius Caesar, by the Romans in 12 BC, during the reign of Augustus, but were toppled some time later. This had the fortuitous effect of burying their faces and so preserving most of the hieroglyphics from the effects of weathering. The obelisk remained in Alexandria until 1877, when Sir William James Erasmus Wilson, a distinguished autonomist and dermatologist, sponsored its transportation to London from Alexandria at a cost of some £10,000, equivalent to well over £1 million now. Following consultation with Matthew William Simpson, a railway and locomotive engineer working for Egyptian Railways and a friend of Wilson who shared his passion for Egyptian antiquities, it was dug out of the sand in which it had been buried for nearly 2,000 years and was encased in a great iron cylinder, 92 feet long and 16 feet in diameter. This was designed by the engineer John Dixon and dubbed Cleopatra, to be commanded by Captain Carter. It was built around the obelisk. The casing had a vertical stem and stern, a rudder, two bilge keels, a mast for balancing sails, and a deck house. It acted as a floating pontoon which was to be towed to London by the ship Olga, commanded by Captain Booth. The effort almost met with disaster on the 14th of October 1877, in a storm in the Bay of Biscay, when the Cleopatra began wildly rolling and became uncontrollable. The Olga set out a rescue boat with 6 volunteers, but the boat capsized and all 6 crew were lost. They are named on a bronze plaque attached to the foot of the Needle's mounting stone. Captain Booth on the Olga eventually managed to get his ship next to the Cleopatra and rescued Captain Carter and the 5 crew members aboard Cleopatra. Cleopatra stayed afloat, drifting in the bay, until found 4 days later by Spanish trawler boats, and then rescued by the Glasgow steamer Fitzmaurice and taken to Ferrol in Spain for repairs. Eventually it made its arrival in London in January 1878. A wooden model of the obelisk had previously been placed outside the Houses of Parliament, but the location had been rejected, so the London Needle was finally put up on the Victoria Embankment on the 12th of September 1878. On the erection of the obelisk in 1878, a time capsule was concealed in the front part of the pedestal containing a set of 12 photographs of the best-looking English women of the day, a box of hairpins, a box of cigars, several tobacco pipes, a set of imperial weights, a baby's bottle, some children's toys, a shilling razor, a hydraulic jack and some samples of cable used in the erection, a 3-foot bronze model of the monument, a complete set of contemporary British coins, a rupee, a portrait of Queen Victoria, a written history of the transport of the monument, a translation of the inscriptions, copies of the Bible in several languages, a copy of Whitaker's Almanac, a Bradshaw Railway Guide, a map of London, and copies of 10 daily newspapers. Cleopatra's Needle is flanked by 2 faux Egyptian Sphinxes, designed by the English architect George John Valmy. The Sphinxes are cast in bronze and bear hieroglyphic inscriptions that say, "The good god, Thames III, given life." These Sphinxes appear to be looking at the needle rather than guarding it, due to the Sphinx's improper or backward installation. On the 4th of September 1917, during World War I, a bomb from a German air raid landed near the needle. In commemoration of this event, the damage remains unrepaired to this day and is clearly visible in the form of shrapnel holes and gorges on the right-hand Sphinx. Restoration work was carried out in 2005. So, I hope you've enjoyed our look at Egypt in London, otherwise known as Cleopatra's Needle. Whatever podcast service you use to listen to this, please do subscribe to get updates on new shows, and also do leave us some feedback. Also, please let me know any places you'd like us to feature in future podcasts, and you can let me know through our website, www.londonvisited.co.uk, by emailing me directly on londonvisited@gmail.com, or contacting us on Twitter and Instagram on @LondonVisited, or Facebook on @TheLondonVisited. Thanks for listening, and really hope you enjoyed our podcast, and we'll see you very soon on the next one.